Welcome to Life as a Resource. Today we're playing Pit Rack Pox. I'm still excited to be playing. I'm releasing this video a little early, so we're back to Friday. We'll see about next week if I can keep up this pace. Maybe. No promises. Maybe 2 videos. Not quite sure about that, but I'm excited to play today. And I wanted to thank everyone over the absence because well, a lot of people were, commenting on YouTube, or when I was playing MTGO, they would say in the chat or something like, "Oh, I like your content," or, when are you going to be back? So that was pretty cool. It's nice to be missed. Thank you to anyone that, I don't know, notices these things every week. It's the reason I make these videos. And I got some feedback, not feedback, but questions, a lot of questions about Powder Keg and what happened to Plague Spitter, and how come I swapped Plague Spitter for Powder Keg. The answer is I was trying to find something that was better versus Dreadnought, because both Powder Keg and Plague Spitter are good versus tokens and other go wide decks, but Powder Keg can also mop up Dreadnoughts. So that was the logic there. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out. I mean, the card does what it says, but it doesn't win us the game. It's just a very difficult matchup, and a couple extra Powder Kegs I found does not help. So if you like Plague Spitter, I think it is a perfectly fine choice. And I do like Plague Spitter. So today I chose to play them. I cut 1 Powder Keg and 1 Smother for 2 Plague Spitters. They're good versus creature decks. They're all good versus creature decks. Plague Spitter is a little better versus control decks as well. Just having an extra threat on the ground that they have to answer is nice. It does 3 damage a turn. So if they don't have an answer, it's a decent clock. We're going to try it out today. Before I start playing today, I want to talk a little bit about Paper Magic. I'm going to go to Duress Fest. Well, the reason I was absent for so long from YouTube was because I was moving, and I've moved to Massachusetts. So definitely signed up for that. And this is my paper deck list. I got a little picture for you. Here we go. And I try to collect Chinese cards. So these are mostly in Chinese. Some of them are not. I have this nice looking FBB Mishra's Factory. There it is. But I only have 1 or maybe 1 more. So if you know anyone that's got 1 or 2 and willing to sell, please let me know. They're very hard to find. And same thing with Curse Scrolls. I got some fine Curse Scrolls, but they're not Chinese. So if you have any Curse Scrolls, let me know. Other than that, maybe the Phyrexian Furnaces. Also not easy to find. I think I found some Bottomless Pits, but also need those. And Pox itself doesn't have a... Like, Ice Age was never in Chinese, unfortunately. I do like original printings, but there is a 5th edition simplified Chinese, which I would love to have. I think it's probably outside my budget, but if you know anyone that has one, I don't think I've even ever seen a picture of it, so if it exists, and let me know. Other than that, pretty good list. I'm happy to be playing it in person anyways. If you're going to be there, let me know. It'd be fun to meet some people. Otherwise, let's jump into the matches. We have a good league today. Please enjoy. Round 1. Here we go. All right. We got our discard, and we even have removal. So this is great. Wish we were on the play, but Heckman 87. Let's see what you got. They have a Nimble Mongoose. Well, Smother, not too good versus the Goose. And I'm not sure about this Duress either. Okay, well, look, they were going to discard it to Wild Mongrel anyways. Didn't do anything. It's not like it's a 2-mana 6/6. Here comes the Goose. Here's the Wild Mongrel. And, we could smother this or wait and smother the Roar of the Worm. Well, I don't like my options, but I don't know how to beat a 6/6 except for smother, so I'm gonna wait a little bit. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. But no, not looking good. I mean, if they get the 4th mana, it's going to be difficult to keep up with this. Luckily, I think we have good sideboard options, and it'll be, well, hopefully the match will turn out okay. Opponent played and cracked the windswept heath that we know about, and they're attacking. Well, we're definitely blocking. Oh, they have glory? Okay, sure, you got me. Well, they have one card left in their hand. The good news is I can make them discard it. So if that's the land they were relying on, then no more. It was another mongoose. Okay, well, I'm glad to get rid of that. Here's a cursed scroll. They're up to 5 cards in the graveyard. Let's see if they top deck the land or not. They did top deck a land. Pressure's on. But they can't attack with the mongoose this turn. That part's good. Wow, if this cursed scroll was a Phyrexian Furnace, it'd be so much better. They have no cards in their hand. Now would be a great time to use the cursed scroll to kill the mongrel, but that option is not available to us. Few options are. We're going to have to smother the worm token, so I guess we'll just say go. Maybe they won't attack with their small creatures because they're afraid of factory blocks, and then we smother the worm token. That's all I got. I need to draw a swamp, honestly. Innocent Blood was a great draw. Just need to be able to cast these things. Okay, well, just like we drew it up, and hopefully they flash back the other or the worm. We draw Swamp. That way we can play Rats to get the last card in their hand, and then also cast Innocent Blood, I guess? Well, none of that happened. Well, we have to play Rats. I mean, they have no cards in their hand, so if they top deck, I don't know, all lands and we top deck all removal, maybe we can get through it. Attacking with everything. So I guess they drew a land and they plan to activate Glory. And if that's the case, if they're smart, they'll do it before blocks. Yeah, so we're just dead because if we just can't block. Oh, okay. Well, I'm definitely blocking, and I'll block the mongoose. This will, like, maybe they drew a spell. Okay, well, they let their mongoose die. That was important for this Innocent Blood to work. And one card in their hand. I don't know what it could be, but let's find out. We have to get this Cabal Therapy out of our hand. I assume it's a land, but if it's not a land, maybe it's a swords? It is a swords, okay. That's good. Now we could curse scroll the wild mongrel. Yeah, I think we have to. We just have to get lucky here. I'll name Innocent Blood. Nah, we missed. But if that had worked, then we would have the blood for the worm. Like, I can't play blood now because they'll just sacrifice the mongrel, and then how do I beat this worm? Alright, opponent drew Nimble Mongoose. That's pretty good. And we drew Duress. Well, we could Duress ourselves. We'd be halfway there. Alright, well, that was just too many creatures for us to keep up with. Maybe they play Call of the Herd as well. So Furnace comes in, Smother comes in. Spinning Darkness is not great because it doesn't hit any of the threats we saw that game. But yeah, maybe I'll keep it on the sideboard then because we do have 4 Dystopias. Dystopia MVP. We can trim a pit. And we can trim a lot of the discard, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure we need any of this discard. Oop, no, that's not right. I meant to keep the charms and ditch the therapies. Oh, bring in the Plague Spitters. They can take down a wild mongrel. Alright, back for game 2. Ooh, I do like the Furnace, but we need to draw land almost immediately to make this work. And if we do, it's the perfect hand. Ah, go on then. I'll just keep it. Alright, turn 1 or turn 2. Well, turn 2 or turn 3, draw land. I think we're good. Alright, we're good. This is great because we can play Rats. They can discard their Call of the Herd or whatever. Don't care. Could be Basking Rootwalla, but it's not. And they have a Compost. If only Furnace could check the compost. Like there was some weird intervening if clause. If it's still there, blah, blah, blah. Well, compost, compost, compost. We could play the rats. Yeah, I kind of like that. We play the rats, say go. They're going to play another threat, and then we have dystopia against two things. And I don't think opponent can keep up with that. I hope. And then we're attacking for 2 the whole time, kind of evening out the life total. It depends. If our opponent's hand is full of 1-drops, then it's going to be difficult. But as long as they play only one thing this turn, this dystopia might be able to keep up with it. They have a blue spell. Oh, I didn't know they played blue. That kind of changes things. I would love the Funeral Charm, this Merfolk Looter. Yeah, I think it's worth it. I could just play Plague Spitter. No, because that'll kill 2 rats, and then Compost will trigger twice. I kind of assumed they'd play a white or a green card, so this is not great, but we're doing it. Curse Scroll, happy to draw something I can play. Say that much. Alright, I feel like these rats are going to get a lot of damage in this game. Okay, they played something that is white or green, and that's all I wanted. I just wanted to get a 2-for-1, this dystopia. And let's see if opponent's going to try to keep up with it, or just wait till it dies. They could try to keep up with it. Depends if what they have dies to Curse Scroll or not. Also depends if they have Disenchant. Alright, opponent's going for it. Oh, I forgot to exile the card. Alright, Swamp was the best draw, because we can play the rack and hold up Curse Scroll. I don't want to attack here, because then opponent will draw a card with Compost. So now, if they play like a Wild Mongrel or something, we can badger it with the Curse Scroll. Alright, opponent continues to play Mongooses. Well, we can't scroll the Mongoose, but there's always opponent's face. Alright, opponent's down to 10. We go to 17. We draw a Swamp, which is not the best, but not the worst. As long as I can get it out of my hand, that's fine. And then eventually, opponent will run out of Nimble Mongooses. Well, or I'll run out of life. We'll see which one happens first. Alright, there's a Mongrel. I will Curse Scroll it. Oh, they F6 apparently. They did not think I was going to do that. I was happy to have them discard a card. Get them more in rack range. Okay, well then we'll pay 3 life. And that's probably the last we'll pay. Alright, we drew a Swamp, played a Swamp. And now we get to attack with our rats. And we get to Curse Scroll them. And if they handle the rats, we have a Plague Spitter follow-up. They have no threshold. They drew 1 card off the compost. So, mission accomplished. They do have 5 cards in their hand, which is a lot. So, they could definitely have something good here. We'll see. There's another Brush Hopper. That's a good blocker. Well, but it does die to the Dystopia, if we want to keep that around. They're at 4 life. So if we keep the Dystopia, they'll probably use the frog's ability, which is fine. The timing works out for them. Or we could just attack. They'll go to 3, and I play the Plague Spitter and see what happens. I could keep the Dystopia and attack. 1, 3, 4 is 4 is a lot of toughness. I think with them at 4 life, it makes sense to keep Dystopia. We can pay 4 life here, and then we can even pay 5 life next turn. Like, they're at 4, and we have a Curse Scroll, so I think there's no reason to back off. Second Plague Spitter. Well, second Spitter will probably do it. I'm at 3. Play a Plague Spitter, and they'll be at 2. We're going to Curse Scroll them kind of no matter what. We can see if they want to discard 2 cards to save their blocker, but they'll be dead before I attack, so they're discarding 2 cards now. Okay, that's fine. Doesn't really matter. They still get it back at their end step no matter what. Oh, because they discarded cards, they were actually at 2 cards. They went to 2 from the rack. I did not see that. Okay, I was wondering why they lost a life there. All right. Well, just as we drew it up, yeah, Spinning Darkness not looking too hot. Everything has 4 toughness or is otherwise untargetable. Yeah, I don't think the discard gets any better. So this is good. Let's go to game 3. Game 3, I don't think this hand is defensible. Rack's not great until late in the game, and Rats is not the best card in this matchup. This one, I would keep it if this was a swamp, because we can play so many things. Now, we might have to keep it. Like, obviously it's risky. I wouldn't keep this on 7, but we can cast some artifacts if we miss a land drop the first time. Innocent Blood's good. Funeral Charm's good. Obviously, we'll get back the Pox. Like, is there any 5-card hand that is likely to win is the question. I think the answer is no. So I think we just have to keep this and hope to get lucky. This is a kind of match where it's like 1 for 1. One of our removal spells will match up with one of their creatures. So a 5-card hand is pretty risky. And turn 1 Furnace is plenty okay. So we kind of have 2 chances to hit a swamp. Yeah, so they didn't even play a creature. If they played Mongoose, then yeah, we would need the swamp for the blood. Okay, well, this is why I'm winning this game. I'm very good at keeping swamps right where I want them, on top of my library. But we're still going to play the Furnace. Hopefully they have a turn 2 City Brass into Merfolk Looter again. That worked out pretty well for us last game. Here's a Mongrel. Innocent Blood is pretty precious in this matchup, because we don't have a lot that can take out some of their other creatures. But I'm not going to let them have an Arrogant Worm on turn 3. So away it goes. Treva's Runes. Okay. Did they not float mana? They did not float mana. So, okay, guess they're just done. Cool. Cool. Let's make it this Rats in. Swamp was a good draw. Okay, I'm very happy they can't really discard, you know, Roar of the Worm or Arrogant Worm or Call of the Herd. I haven't seen a Call of the Herd. I feel like this deck would play it, but maybe they're just full of other things. All right, opponent's got 5 cards in their hand and nothing to play. Don't know what that means. Second Furnace, less good. I will play it. That was a mistake. I should have attacked first. But I'm still going to attack, but just with the Rats. I think I will use my mana to draw a card. Yeah, I was afraid they would have some instant speed thing. Oh, Frantic Search. I was like, how are they going to get the Arrogant Worm? And if I knew they had a worm, I probably would have played Dystopia. That's why this Furnace was a mistake. So the Rats was going to die no matter what. But and if I didn't play it and had attacked with the Factory, I could have used Funeral Charm to kill the worm, which would be interesting. Still, I don't want to lose the Factory in this spot, but it would have been interesting. All right, they get their worm. Fine. I will draw a card here in case it's an Innocent Blood. Well, kind of. If they don't play a creature and we draw a Pox, draw a Swamp, then we can Pox. They attack with the worm. We got a 16. Flooded Strand. Finds an island for a Wild Mongrel. Not great for us. Okay, I'm just going to do that one. We're definitely playing Dystopia here. Yeah, the question is, if we draw a Swamp, do we want a Pox? I don't think so. I think we're just supposed to play Dystopia. We can always Pox next turn. All right, Dystopia got the Wild Mongrel, which is interesting because this one can survive a Dystopia, just in case opponent had another way around it. We got a 12. We go to 11. Draw the rack. I mean, I have to play the rack. If they don't have another Frantic Search, then it's probably best just to say go. But what if they do? If they do, it's best to play Pox. But it's not easy to play Pox here. I mean, they would have to have Frantic Search and Arrogant Worm. It's just what they have 4 cards and they said go. So what could they have? They didn't even play a land. But if they have land, they could be holding it. But I just have to hope it's all Roar of the Worms and an Arrogant Worm without discard outlet. All right. I'll play the rack. I'll say go. Nothing happens. I'll probably cast Funeral Charm. Okay, nothing happened. That part's good. Opponent just goes to 5 cards and says go. I could Funeral Charm, because if they do have a worm or something, I can just play Pox. So I'm going to try it. They didn't discard a worm or anything. If I draw land, I'll be happy to play Pox. Let the Dystopia die. We drew a Rats instead. Oh boy. That is risky. Because if they do have an Arrogant Worm, that's rough. Although, if they have an Arrogant Worm, Pox is also rough. Well, then I'll just play the Rats. They might have not played an Arrogant Worm last turn because I still had Dystopia in play, is what I was thinking. So they might play it now. If they do play it now, I can block with Factory and Rats to kill it. But they didn't, so we'll just mop up that Roar. Drew a Smother. It's not a bad draw, but I am looking for a spot to play this Pox and keep drawing things I don't want to discard. But opponent keeps not playing anything at all. Bottomless Pit. That's kind of funny. I guess we play it. I mean, maybe they got more Roar of the Worms, but we have Smother and Pox. So that helps. Okay, and they had a Swords. And okay, I guess that resolves. And we discard a Pox. Probably for the best. I'll activate Factory here because either Factory or Scroll is 2 damage, but this way I can leave up Smother in case they have anything tricky. And if they do like discard a Roar of the Worm and flash it back, I'd rather Smother now than next turn. Okay, here's a creature. I am happy to smother it. All right, well now we have discarded everything we have to beat Roar of the Worm, so hopefully they don't have one of those hanging around. Name the swamp, play the swamp, attack. All right, we got 3 damage on the ground. They're going to take 1 from the rack, so this is kind of working. Yeah, as long as they never cast a spell, I think we will win this game. So, don't know what they are doing over there. Swamp, same thing from us. Name the swamp, play the swamp, attack. All right, they go to 4. Rack puts them to 3. Now they kind of can't play spells, even if they wanted to. And they concede. Okay, well, there we go. We got the match. Difficult game 1, but our deck is built to beat green-white decks post-sideboard, at the very least. Round 2. Up against Lion Heart. 505. Alright. This is fine. Swamp. I'll go with the Furnace. If they have a Duress effect, I'll be sad, but if they have anything that ends up in their graveyard, at least I can get that exiling, and I'm not going to activate Curse Scroll, so I thought I might as well play the Furnace. Opponent has an opt. They opt to put the card on the bottom, and then they discard a Phyrexian Dreadnought, which is, the best card in their deck. So, what's going on, opponent? Do you have another one? They have another one. Alright, well, guess we lose this game. Exile all the cards in the graveyard. And play Rats. All right, there's a foil. They had the foil, so even if we had top decked Innocent Blood, I guess we'd still lose. Yeah, they always have it, don't they? Swamp. Probably too many swamps. All right, well, I've never liked this matchup. Obviously, we have removal, and not like a small amount of removal, but they always seem to have a counterspell. So it goes. We can take out the furnaces. It's also just like very difficult to get them empty-handed. So the rack is only good like with bottomless pit. Difficult match. All right, well, we have some duress and a powder keg in case the old knot never comes into play. This is a pretty good hand. The only problem is got no win condition in sight. Oh yeah, I kept in all the scrolls. Scroll, less good. Well, the bad news is opponent's hand is just terrible, so we have to take a terrible card. I will probably wait to cast this other duress. Alright, opponent shuffled. They draw a mystery card. We draw a smother. I mean, yeah, that's fine. Am I supposed to play the keg? Like, because, like, what? I play the keg, take it up to 1, and then play a curse scroll? Doesn't seem good. I mean, curse scroll and rack do very little when I have cards stuck in my hand. Will opponent play Dreadnought if I have Powder Keg in play? Or will they just kind of wait for forever to late game? And if they're going to wait for forever, then I want to have Curse Scroll going. This is just the worst. I'll start with Keg, but I just don't see this winning the game. Well, bottomless pit could help things. All right, we draw the pit. That'll force some action. Opponent did not shuffle. I don't see why I wouldn't put a counter on it. Well, I have a swamp. Look, I'm going to play the Curse Scroll just so I have something to do. Yeah, Powder Keg will blow it up, but I can draw another one, you know. I've got three of them in my deck. And you know, it'll give me something to entertain myself with while opponent's not playing Dreadnoughts. Hey, there's a bottomless pit. Kind of sounds like fun. Play it. I'm sure it'll just be counterspelled. So I'll take a turn off. I will rack, and I will duress. Although now, this powder keg is looking really silly. So was I not supposed to play the rack? I don't even know anymore. Don't love the web. Don't know how I feel about the boomerang, but I'm taking the vision charm. They'll cast Flash of Insight for 1. They just want to make their land drops. They play the web. I can put powder keg on 2. Is that crazy? I mean, I want to say I have a smother, but I am planning on discarding the smother. I guess I can always put the powder keg on 2 later. Don't have to do it now. Oh, gosh. Wow. See, opponent's got 9 cards in their hand. Oh, they're in rack range, discarding the hand size, all right. Well, I'll see if they have a foil. If they have a foil, they will probably foil this. Here's a swamp. I think I won't play it. Oh. No, I will play it. Then I shouldn't have tapped the wasteland. But I can smother on my upkeep, which is something that might happen. Opponent can also cast Boomerang with my bottomless pit trigger on the stack if they want me to. Oh, they discarded Dreadnought the hand size, and then they discarded another one. So they only have 2 left. If they didn't side in like Brain Freeze or anything, then that's it. All right, well, they didn't play a Dreadnought, so we discard the smother. Definitely not taking up the powder keg. Ooh, duress. Duress is probably better than activating Curse Scroll, so here goes. I can boomerang the bottomless pit now in response. That'd be kind of annoying, but better now than later. So actually, I'm fine with this. Yep, opponent is going to boomerang the pit. Well, they could have just countered it. They have another Gush, they have a Vision Charm, and a Daze. Well, I guess I'll take the counterspell, because I am very interested in getting this bottomless pit back, although we're pretty far away from it. We gotta play around Daze. That will not help us play around Daze, so I guess we'll say go. Opponent casts another Flash of Insight. Now they got two of those floating around, so anytime they want, they can take whatever card they want out of their deck and put it in their hand. Not yet, says opponent. We missed on the bottomless pit. And we drew an Innocent Blood. Hard cast Gush. Sure. I mean, the good news is we're prepared for a Dreadnought. Honestly, I hope the two Dreadnoughts are their only win condition, and they play one. It's up to 7 cards in their hand, and we miss again with the scroll. Funeral Charm. Okay. Opponent has another Flash of Insight. I think they're gonna be going through their whole deck several times over. Alright, opponent says go with 8 cards in their hand, so I guess no point in casting Funeral Charm. We miss again. They discard an Essence Flare. Draw another Funeral Charm. Well, we can start naming that for Curse Scroll. That'll be fun. Opponent exiles 11 blue cards. I think that was a little silly. Do they need all 11? I mean, they have 2 more Flash of Insights in their graveyard. But, you know, they'll fill up. Alright, here's some action. This is exciting. Here they probably stifle. Oh no, they're wasting a Vision Charm. Alright, we will smother it. It has a counter spell. Oh, they could stifle my keg. But if they stifle the keg, then I get to keep my stuff. Alright, they're stifling the keg. Alright. Round 1 goes to opponent. I'll make them discard a card. Make it a little harder for them to foil it. They gush in response. Well, okay. Never mind that plan. Okay, and Dreadnought is phased out. Oh, they're going for second Dreadnought. Makes sense. And they have 2 Vision Charms, so no Innocent Blood for me. Alright, well, we did draw a Swamp, so we can better play around Daze. I can do that. Discard a card. Then on their upkeep, we smother 1. And sure, if opponent has nothing, then we can Innocent Blood the other one. Ah, but they have something. What are the odds? What are the odds? Alright, this was miserable, but next round will be more fun, I promise, because can't be worse. Alright, round 3 against Aetavrenz. Never mind. Yeah, you could try to get lucky and keep this. It's not. The problem is we need exactly Swamp, and we got 2 Scourges, so that's okay for a mulligan, I think. This one, yeah, much better. Lands and spells. Put the Furnace on the bottom and just hope this isn't a graveyard deck. I think if you don't want to do that, you can put the Therapy on the bottom, maybe. Basic Island. Well, I'll cast Therapy. I'll name Counterspell. I think that's something every Basic Island deck plays. And they have one. Okay, we're up against some blue-white control deck, probably Standstill. But we got the Counterspell. That's kind of fun. Here's a Rats. They have 2 Disenchants, so cannot rely on any of that stuff. And we have a Decree of Justice we have to worry about. So Smother, probably not great, unless they have a factory of their own or something. Okay, they're just going to cycle the Justice right now. I can see why they're doing that, but I'm happy they are. That is definitely something we could lose to late game. Okay, cool. So far, opponent... Oh, we can Flashback Therapy on Disenchant. Of course. Of course. And I think that's a good idea. So let's do it. So I'm going to activate the factory because they can disenchant the factory. Otherwise, what am I doing? This. So if you do it this way, not much they can do. They drew a counterspell. Well, that's rough. Play the rack. Could flashback therapy again, but I don't wanna. Oh, they have swords too. Alright, well their hand is 2 disenchants. Something else. Well, they've drawn well. We have a bottomless pit too. It's like exactly what I want. But I don't think I can play it. I'll save it for later. That's a shame because bottomless pit would be so good here. Pox, we have to sacrifice 2 lands and they only have to sacrifice 1. Makes me think we should wait a turn. I'm happy to discard the smother though. So if they play a land here, they'll have 4 lands and 4 cards. So it's a good time to Pox. Give it a try. They might have drawn another counterspell, but they might have just drawn, more removal. They're floating 4 mana, so I guess that's for fact or fiction. And they don't want to play it before they discard. Is that good for them? I feel like you can play it before you discard, because they'll probably take the pile with 2 cards, and then it doesn't change how many cards you discard, so you're just more informed, right? Yeah, let me know if I'm wrong. But the Wrath and the Swords... Oh, this AK is brutal, huh? And the Plains? Yes, because I don't care about those cards, and they probably want to land. Yep, they took the land in the AK. Makes sense. Maybe I should have put the AK by itself. Nah. Alright, hopefully we rip a land off the top. Did not. They cast AK, so we Funeral Charm in response. Make sure they discard a card before they draw, is the logic, so they have fewer options. But they just discarded a land. I'm sure that's what they would have discarded anyways. Okay, Duress, I'll play it because if we draw a land, we are going to jam this bottomless pit very hard. Opponent has 2 Decree of Justice, which is... I mean, it's okay right now because we can mop up the tokens with Curse Scroll if we ever draw the 3rd land. Hey, there it is. Well, I guess we have to play Bottomless Pit. I want to play Pox and then have to discard the pit. And if they counter this, then we still have Pox. Opponent's going to have to sacrifice 3 lands. So we'll do it. And they have to discard their card. Now they're going to make 4 tokens in response and have to sacrifice 2 of them. So they'll have only 2 tokens. We will lose the game to those tokens unless we draw some good cards. But opponent has to go down, has to crack all their fetches and then lose a 3rd of their life. So they'll be at 6, which is, in Curse Scroll range. Of course, we won't have the lands to activate it. And the sad part is if we draw a land, which is probably our best draw, we still have to wait a whole turn to activate Scroll because we won't have any cards in our hand. All right, opponent's smart. They're leaving 1 fetch uncracked because they know they'll just have to sacrifice the token anyways. Although now they lose an extra life from Pox, so it's actually all the same. They have to discard what they drew, so they are very low on cards in hand. A very low resource game here. They do still have 4 lands though, which is enough to cast anything that they happen to draw. So we just have to hope to draw better than them. Curse Scroll, terrible. Definitely don't play it because now a land is wonderful. Hey, there's a land. Okay, they go to 4, we go to 4, they go to 2, we go to 2, and then they're dead. So I will Curse Scroll them. Okay, Fact or Fiction. That's kind of funny. I guess you do it like this. Yeah, maybe like this is slightly better. I don't know. I could put all the furnaces in the same pile. Would that be good? They'd probably take it, but then they get 3 mystery cards. This way they're guaranteed a land. Alright, I'm going to curse scroll them. Of course, there's a risk. Like, if we draw a spell we can't play, then what are we going to do? One's playing both furnaces instead of, like, playing one and cracking one. I don't know if I agree with that logic. All right, another land is our best draw, because then we can keep scrolling them. Rats is, I mean, if it's not going to be a land, then rats is not bad. They drew a counterspell. I mean, I guess that's why they left the double blue open, but I'm not happy. Not happy. Rats would have been great as a blocker, and then the 2 scrolls would have easily finished this game off, but now it's going to be very close, and we're going to have to scroll the tokens, so it's going to take a long time, and they found another AK. They drew 3 cards. So if they find another Decree of Justice, or, I don't know, if they play any man lands, then we're going to be pretty dead. Wasteland is okay. Okay, we have to name Wasteland. Then we can play Wasteland. Do I want to waste their tower? I guess so. Pretty close, though. I have a 6-drop. Oh, it's Exalted Angel. Okay. Well, we're just dead. Okay. Cool. Close game. We just needed a few draw steps where they didn't just top deck the nuts, and, well, they did. That happens. All right, Smother seems terrible. And Plague seems reasonable. Keeping the blood for the angels. Dystopia, not great. Plague Spitter is actually pretty good. This is kind of what Plague Spitter's for. So maybe we do Spitters instead of the Plagues. Or at least, I'll take 1 Plague. Scroll's good. Furnaces stay in. In fact, I kind of want another Furnace. So I'll take out another Funeral Charm. I like to discard. I like all my threats. Okay, we're good. Okay, this is a wonderful hand. We'll play Curse Scroll. That's fine. Now, they might have Sabo's Web, so watch out for that one. Oops, I meant to play the rats. I love rats in this matchup. It's MVP because it's a real good opportunity for a 2-for-1, and in the meantime, you get to get some damage in. Like, they're going to have to swords this, or Wrath of God, or something. They can't just leave it on the board for forever. They have a Meddling Mage. Okay. Well, that's what we got Curse Scroll for. They name Bottomless Pit. How'd they know? It would have been a good turn for Pit, I think. Well, we will simply attack with the Factory. And when they don't block, we will play the Rack. Yeah, really hoping they don't have Web here. Aura of Silence. Alright, kind of annoying. They took out the scroll because they want to keep their Meddling Mage alive. Well, joke's on them. And here I think I'll take the 50-50. Yeah, I do want this thing dead, but I'm going to probably cast Pox. Unclear. Yeah, I'm going to put the pressure on. I'm just... If it was 100%, I would totally Curse Scroll. I don't think I can spend, maybe turns of missing. I like to keep the pressure on. Right now, the ball's in our court. Opponent attacked last turn with the Melee Mage, which probably was a mistake. Yeah, now they're holding it back. Okay, I'm not going to play Pox this turn because I don't want to discard the Bottomless Pit. So we'll just attack like this. And then we can activate Scroll later. Yeah, first we'll try scrolling the Meddling Mage. And then we'll play Pox, because I don't think Pox will resolve, is the thing. So it's still worthwhile to answer the Mage like this. I guess I'll name the Bottomless Pit, although I'm kind of into casting Pox next turn, so I feel like I might as well name Pox. Alright, Pox misses. So we'll cast the Pox. They will counter this, and then we'll play Furnace. Very good. Play the Furnace. Then next turn, we can Curse Scroll more reliably. They're down to 3 cards in their hand. Getting close. They're attacking. We went over this opponent. That's a bad play. So they must have maybe another Meddling Mage, or they're going to cycle, or they're going to hardcast the Exalted Angel. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Well, what do you do? I think we have to draw a card. Rats, no good. Funeral Charm, also no good. We have 4 points of damage between us. I could activate Factory and attack with Factory. They block. I Funeral Charm my Factory. Either way, no, I don't have to Funeral Charm the Factory, but I could do it anyways. They get it out of my hand and have a 50-50 chance of killing the Exalted Angel. I think that's the right move. I think they'll see it coming. Oh, no, I can just pump the Factory and then Funeral Charm. Okay. Okay. I got this. Yeah, they saw it coming, which makes sense. So they don't block. Wonder if I could have attacked with rats there. Like, they know I have a trick, but I don't think they know what it is. So they probably would have let the rats through too. But I didn't do anything because I want to play rats and I want to cast a Funeral Charm. So they'll be at 0 cards in hand. So, you know, not for nothing, but we're kind of keeping up with the lifelink. This is pretty bad because even if we draw an Innocent Blood, they still have the Meddling Mage. So that means we have to activate Curse Scroll on our upkeep and just hope we draw the blood. All right, at the Bottomless Pit. Not an Innocent Blood. If we had tapped a little differently, I was thinking if I drew a land, I could play Bottomless Pit anyways, and if I didn't draw a land, I could attack with the Factory. And, well, drew the one thing that made that difficult. All right, play Wasteland. Not going to activate it because I'm interested in casting spells, activating Curse Scroll, activating Factories, etc. All right, they're at 3. They go up to 7. Next turn they'll go down to 6, and we do have 6 points of damage on the board, so if they have nothing, then we win. Activate Curse Scroll or play the Bottomless Pit. I think play the pit is probably better. Play the pit and then attack with both Factories. Yeah, I'm into that. I guess it's slightly better to attack with the Factories first. All right. Hopefully they don't have Decree. Decree is like the best thing for them ever. All right, they're at 1 and they have 2 cards in hand, so they're kind of dead on board. Oh, I could have just activated Scroll. Maybe. Yeah, that would have... Activating Scroll would have been better because this gives them like a Fact or Fiction out, maybe. I mean, we'd still probably win the game, but there's no reason to throw it away like that. I mean, we have Dystopia against Angel, but we have 3 Pox and 3 Innocent Blood against Angel. And apparently you can race an Angel. I didn't know that, but it seems like it happened. I think Dystopia... I want to say it's a mistake. It also mops up the Meddling Mage, though. All right, Funeral Charm, I don't need it all. You can put in 1 Dystopia. Okay, this is a wonderful hand. We have the Rack and the Bottomless Pit. That is what we want from life. We have to therapy them to curve out. So we'll just name Counterspell or Disenchant. I guess Counterspell is slightly more annoying. And they had a Disenchant. They have 2 swords. But that's okay. Oh, and they have a Furnace. Damn. I was going to say, we can just flash back. All right, opponent. Fine. Fine. Oh, now we draw the Duress. Okay. Play the rats. See what they choose to discard. Let's see, the island's gone. To discard a swords. Wonder if they're going to use the other swords right away. Yeah, they are. See? The rats. I'm telling you, in this matchup, it's just a 2-for-1. That sometimes deals damage. It's incredible. All right. So we will duress them first, make sure there's no counterspell, and then hopefully get rid of this disenchant. Okay, they do have a decree, which I don't love, but I think I've got to take the disenchant because we're about to start cooking here. I'm still going to play swamps just in case they have the Sabo's Web. Opponent exiles my card and then also disenchant. And top deck's a counterspell. Okay. Well, it happens. Just hope it didn't happen twice. Oh, I had exactly enough mana to play what I wanted. And then now I'm drawing a Furnace, which I actually kind of want. But, okay. This is it. We got the pit rack in play. Opponent can have 1/1/1 this turn. That won't be fast enough, but they're doing it anyways. That is fine. I think Plains is their last card, unless I'm mistaken. They found their Fact or Fiction. It's kind of annoying. Now, 2 cards or 3 lands, opponent. They take the 3 lands. Okay. It's defensible. Depends what they drew. They have 1 mystery card. No, I said it was a Plains. Well, I don't know. Hopefully their hand is 3 basics. Yeah, we discard a Furnace. Unfortunate. Draw Duress. Look, I think their hand is 3 lands, but on the other hand, there's a Bottomless Pit in play, so yeah. Doesn't matter at all. And I suppose we're winning this race, so let's go. All right, well, this is what we want, but not that fast of a clock. I'm surprised they're playing lands. Okay, I guess that's why. But they probably are going to go after the rack, right? Or maybe the factory. Well, let's find out. Yeah, I'm going to attack with the factory. I'm not going to not attack. I kind of hope they just kill the factory. Okay. They're not going to kill the factory, so they're going to go after the rack or the pit. I think they have to go after the pit, right? But then why did they play that land? All right, opponent gave it a minute of thought and went after the rack. Reasonable. Oh, I hope I draw another one. Cabal Therapy. Oh my god. Well, alright, I'll play it. And I'll name Swords or Decree? Name Swords. A null. Okay. Yeah, that's what we wanted to happen. We wanted them to draw nonsense like that. The Meddling Mage. Pretty good top deck for opponent. But now we can leave Factory as a blocker. So, and we drew the other artifact. Haha, perfect. Although maybe it's better to attack, actually. Because if we attack, they have to block. And if we draw a Curse Scroll, like, we definitely want to play it. So, unclear. I suppose if we draw a scroll, then we can attack. Ooh, we drew a Plague Spitter. All right, let's go. So this is how we drew it up. See, I told you this match would be better. And you believed me. So, good on you. All right, opponent's at 6. I don't know what they could draw to get out of this. Wrath of God, no. I guess Swords now and a Disenchant next turn. Kind of. Chroma's Vengeance? My god, they don't have a Chroma's Vengeance, do they? All right, the mana's ticking down one at a time. So here's the Decree of Justice. Oh, and they're making 1/4/4. That makes sense. They're still dead. Yep, and they concede. Cool. We got match 3. Let's see about match 4. Round 4. All right. Lands and spells. And we're on the play. That's fun. Swamp and Curse Scroll. And that's on Wooded Foothills. Ooh, so we can name Sylvan Library or something else. I don't know. Could name Oath. We do have a Skittinger Scourge. I'll name Sylvan Library. I think that's a thing they might have. Oh, wow, they have 3 Ball Lightnings. Okay, well, I desperately need to get a creature in play to flashback this Cabal Therapy. Should have named Ball Lightning. Okay. Either a Ravenous Rat or a Swamp. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's so bad. It's so bad for me. It is so bad for me. Okay, well, the Funeral Charm, at least I can not take 6 damage. They choose to cast Lightning Bolt, not Incinerate. Very smart. Here's the Mire. Here's a Ball Lightning. Maybe they drew another Incinerate. No, wait. How does that work? They drew another Lightning Bolt. So they're just afraid of the... Oh my god. Oh my god. It's the worst Cabal therapy I've ever had. I only have a Vortex. Okay. That's interesting. Name the Smother. What happened? What happened? No, missed on the Smother, I think. Or I think we missed every Curse Scroll activation today. And that would have been a good one to hit. Because, Duress. This is the worst. The worst. We can't even attack a factory. I'll just say go. Oh, I could have activated factory and flashed it back. I didn't even think of that. I'm not sure if it's the right play, considering we do have a smother, but I should have thought about it. Okay, there's a swamp. We will duress them. Take the lightning bolt. We can curse scroll the ball lightning. I think that's our plan. And if they just don't cast it for some reason, we can curse scroll their face, so it's not so bad. We gotta get ahead of this vortex. Right now we're pretty far behind. All right, Skittering Scourge. Draw. Even another swamp would be fine here. Okay, another swamp. Oh, this is actually a little tricky. Yeah, we can attack with the factory, but we have to leave the curse scroll up for the ball lightning, so. Or we can attack with the factory and then flashback therapy after damage. Is that crazy? Because I kind of want to play the Scourge. Like, what are they going to do? Yeah, I think I'll flashback therapy. They could... I might name Incinerate if they don't Incinerate me in response. They did. So here we can just name Ball Lightning. Okay, we get that. Oh, they have 3 mountains. That's certainly good for us. And now we can play the Scourge. And 5, 6, 7. Oh, I'll go to 1 next turn. Ooh. Oh, but it doesn't help. They have so many cards in their hand. Alright, well, all we can do is attack. Say go. We go to 3, and we have an active curse scroll. Alright, I mean, they have to kill me now. They could. They have Fire Blast. I think it has to be Fire Blast. Yeah, I'm not going to not curse scroll them. The rack. Okay. They did not draw Fire Blast. Alright, that's very good. Mono Red is a good matchup, and we won game 1, so we don't have to sweat too hard. Like of those. I didn't see any other creatures, and they do have like main deck Vortex, so they might not be playing many creatures. But Plague is still good versus Ball Lightning, so I think it's okay. Everything else is pretty good, except for the Furnaces. Yeah, we can side on more Poxes. Poxes, it's not the worst. I mean, it's a race, but it's not the best. Well, not really casting most of these spells, so I'll mulligan. This one, easier to cast. Keep it, put a land on the bottom. Funeral Charms, if they're not playing Jackal Pups, they're much less good, but we'll see. Oh, they are playing Jackal Pups. Okay, so that's fine. I'm happy I have them. More Jackal Pups. Ooh, and a Curse Scroll. Okay, I have the rack for the Curse Scroll in a way. In fact, I'll play it right now. They're already down to 3 cards. Well, 4. 3, see, told you. They attack, we will Funeral Charm. There's a Vortex. That is scary for them. Alright, we can play Plague on Ball Lightning, which is an elemental, to shore that up. Or we could just go attacking. And I am a man of action. Like, look at this. Look at this life total difference here, huh? So hopefully they don't have Ball Lightning right now. Let me look at my screen. Okay, well, that happens. But even now, like, we're still winning this race, unless they have another Ball Lightning. But I am a man of action. They fetch their last card's an Overload. Pretty good last card to have, but now they have no cards in their hand, and so they're definitely losing. Do have a scroll, I have to kind of worry about. They'll land, activate factory, and attack. This is kind of perfect. We have 1 back, so they cannot activate scroll, and if they take the damage, they're just automatically dead. Unless they have Fire Blast. Actually, Fire Blast is enough to kill us. They have Incinerate. Well, that happens, but it lets me pump my other. So they're not dead. Fire Blast still kills me. And Ball Lightning. But anything else, I think we're okay. All right, opponent's at 1. I don't see what they can have, but let's find out. All right, and we got the match. Not too shabby. Let's finish up the league. All right, round 5 versus Ezkay. They're on the draw, but they mulliganed. And we have a nice interactive hand here. All right, another aggressive red strategy. Probably Sleigh, maybe Burn. This is fine. I think I'll just Funeral Charm this Fanatic. The real question is, do I duress them next? Because they might have a Sulfuric Vortex. I have a Port, so this is Goblins. Okay, well, that happens. I could play the Curse Scroll, or I could waste them. Or I could play Duress, but Duress is probably not a great play anymore. I think I want to waste them. They have a lot of good 3-drops. And on the off chance that they don't have a 3rd land, then I think this is pretty good. And if not, then we're just kind of back to square one. Lackey, terrifying. But we drew an answer. I was going to play Rats and leave it at that, but might as well play the Innocent Blood. Curse Scroll, very good here, of course. We just got to get our hand empty. But we have 2 swamps, so if we draw a swamp, then we have, like, good odds. Just hopefully we don't draw, I don't know, random spells we can't play. Rats is, it's fine. I guess we'll play the Duress just to get out of our hand. Yeah, unlikely to hit. They have Wasteland. That's, it's not good. Oh, but they'll have to discard the Wasteland or the Matron, but I doubt they'll discard the Matron, so this is a very nice Rats. And I can just block the Matron, which I certainly will. They're going to Matron for a Pile Driver or a Ringleader. Or another Matron, honestly, if they're smart. Maybe another Matron. What else could they get? I don't know. Let's see what they do. Probably Ringleader is very tempting for them. I mean, they don't know I have another Rats, so if they get something they can't play this turn, then Rats will be good. Yeah, if I was them, I would Matron for a Matron and second Matron for a Ringleader. But, we've got the answer, which is nice. So the worst thing for us would be Matron for Pile Driver. Oh, the Matron for Gem Palm, which I didn't think about. I was thinking about Goblins they could, play. So that's fine. I think that's a reasonable play anyways. And again, it leaves them with a card in their hand, which is, what they want, but they don't know about the Rats. Another second Rats, maybe not great, but if they have another play like this, like if now they top deck a Matron or a Ringleader, then this Rats will be good. Yeah, of course they did. Ringleader off the top, so hopefully this hits not too many Goblins. It hit too many Goblins. Yeah, as they do. Very good opponent, very good. So we're going to have to try to mop all of this up with a Curse Scroll. But Factory is a good blocker. Like, I don't know, they could play Fanatic and attack, and then I block the War Chief, and then they can 2-for-1 to get rid of it. Be interesting to see what they do. They have a lot of choices. They played the Lackey instead, so they're just not going to attack. I think that's what that means, which is, it's okay. Ugh, Duress. A land would have been so good here. I guess I have to play the Rats. We only get a Fanatic, but it's better than getting, I don't know, nothing. And we can still block a Factory. I mean, we can't because they're going to incinerate the Factory, but that's a foregone conclusion at this point. I drew a Pile Driver opponent. Just give me a little room to breathe, and I promise you I can win. I just need this not to happen. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, well, we activate the Factory. They incinerate the Factory. And we double block the Pile Driver. I mean, that's all we can do. yeah, I can't afford to not do this, so that happens. And they got the draw card, so hopefully. Oh, it's a siege gang commander. Okay, okay, of course it is. Of course it is. All right, this is a game we easily could have won if we had drawn even slightly better and opponent had drawn slightly worse. But that's not what happened. So we side in all of our good spells. And we have a lot of them, so I still have high hopes. We can get rid of all the bad cards, like the graveyard stuff and the duresses. And one more card. All of our cards are so good. I guess it's a bottomless pit. We don't really need 3 of those in this matchup. It's not bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. All right, you know what? I'm talking myself into it. Bottle Gnomes over the second pit. Bottle Gnomes, decent blocker. Well, here's all of our good cards without the lands to cast them. I mean, 1 land, this thing goes crazy, but I don't really have the Lackey play beat. So if we keep this, we'd have to turn 1 therapy the Lackey, and then turn 2 therapy whatever the best thing is. And if we draw land, then it all comes together. But if we don't, it's pretty rough. I'm in the mood to keep it. This could be not great. But look, opponent got really lucky last game, so now it's our turn. This will be fine. I don't even love naming Lackey here because opponent mulliganed, and I feel like why would you keep Lackey, right? Against our deck, like it's so unlikely to work out. But if opponent kept the Lackey, and then we lose, so I think I have to name it. Only because of the texture of our hand, right? If we already had the second land, I would definitely not have done it that way. And look at that, we already have the second land. Play the rats. And here we don't flash back. Interesting, they discard a port. I feel like when their hands full of lands, port's pretty good. Do you need the 3rd mountain, opponent? But we're not going to flashback therapy because these are, we want to hit the matron, but that's a 3-drop, so might as well attack once. We get to see a little more of their hand before we flash it back. And yeah, I guess we name matron. Okay, they drew, what, another mountain? And then I guess we'll play the Plague Spitter because I just kind of want to start attacking. All right, I found a Monk Fanatic, so yeah, that's bad for us. They can do this, and then that happens. It's kind of annoying. Well, we have another one, but first, we should probably name the ringleader. Okay, and then why not the rack? We can Spinning Darkness if we want to, although that will exile our therapy, so maybe just wait a little bit on that if we can. All right, they played a port. That happens. We drew Innocent Blood. Not great. They port us. They didn't play a land because they want to get ahead of this rack. Makes sense. Draw Bottle Gnomes. Kind of need that 3rd land to get going here. Annoying. Play a mountain. Here's the port. Alright, come on. Just want the 3rd land. Obviously, these spells will be good. We'll cast them later. Eventually, opponent's got to play a goblin. Well, here's a goblin. Oh, there's a good one. Okay. Well, we can play the Plague Spitter. Oh, and we draw Swamp. Alright, play the Swamp. Guess I'll waste their port. I don't know why I wouldn't. Here's a Plague Spitter. So they can't... Oh yeah, they could kill it. They could sacrifice 1 goblin token to kill it, and that'll kill the other 2, and then they attack me for a little bit. Yeah. It's an option they have. I could Spinning Darkness the Siege Gang Commander. I don't love getting rid of this therapy, but I guess I have to deal with this eventually, so might as well do it now. Alright, they're still ahead of the rack. Good for them. Alright, opponent attacks with all their goblin tokens. It could be another Mog Fanatic trick, or it could just be they're gonna die anyways. I will... I'll take the damage. I'm really excited about this Plague Spitter. I mean, if opponent had nothing, then that was the right play, so fine, but I think we can afford it because we're at 17 life. You know, if we were at like 10 or something, I probably wouldn't have done that, but we're not. I'll play the Bottle Gnomes. It's another way to push damage, and there's no downside to getting it in play, I don't think. It's unlikely to die to our own Plague Spitter. Well, it does die to Overload, though. Well, we gained our 3 life, and opponent is going to lose a life because of this play, so fine. They play this Wasteland. I don't know why they did that, because now they're going to take another damage from the wreck. Unless they have Pyrokinesis? Curse Scroll, great draw. Maybe the best draw possible. Ah, looks like they do have Pyrokinesis. Okay, well, you know, called it. But now they have 1 card in their hand, so Rack will take them from 9 to 7. And Curse Scroll should be able to finish it up fine. If they don't play their Goblins, they will lose to the Scroll. If they do play their Goblins, they will lose to the Rack. And I'm not even going to scroll this because I just want to get this game over with. So we'll name it Innocent Blood. We'll stop in our upkeep so we can make sure to scroll them one more time. I'm going to draw. It's a swamp anyways, so it's fine. And we'll play an Innocent Blood. 3, they go to 1, and the game is over. All right, that's what we wanted to happen. Let's try to do it again. Well, yeah, I don't know if we can keep this one. It's pretty risky. We don't have anything versus Lackey. Therapy's good, but not the best. The Rack's slow. Bottle Gnome's not even great. Factory's an okay blocker, but I think we can do better. All right, I'm going to say this hand's better. If we lose because we just don't draw Swamp, well, it happens. But if we draw Swamp, we're in business. All right, turn 1, no Swamp. But we have Funeral Charm for the Lackey. That's something. Okay, we just need to draw the Swamp exactly now. This one, if we miss another land drop, then probably it'll be too late. Ah, of course we didn't. Of course we didn't. We got there with the rats. I'm excited about this Pox. Spinning Darkness will be good. They discard an Overload. That's fine. Yeah, if we draw another land, then oh boy, we're in business. Goblin Tinkerer, you say? Huh, another Pox. Well, play my Scourge. Say go. I am definitely interested in these creatures dying because I can cast Spinning Darkness and then I don't have to worry about Pox stuff. So if they attack with everything here, I will happily block. But how to block? I want to kill everything. I wish I could kill 2 goblins. Do I even block with the... Yeah, I think I do block with the rats then. Okay, I'll block like this. I really wish I could have killed 2 of these goblins, but I could not. Engineer Plague, be still my heart. Okay. Okay. I can play the Rack and Darkness the Tinkerer. Or... I mean, I can Darkness the Pile Driver and then not play the Rack. Yeah, that might be better. Because what if they have another War Chief or Land Ringleader? I don't want to lose the game. Alright, here's a War Chief. So if they have a War Chief, what do you Darkness? I guess it's the War Chief. It's a little scary. They so far have missed a land drop, so they could be sitting on a Siege Gang Commander or a Ringleader or something. And if we can buy another turn for that, that'd be great. I could have played the Rack just so that they would activate Tinkerer, and then I would have taken less damage on the attack. Also ties up their mana, not for nothing. Okay, there we go. That's what we wanted to see. Right, play the Plague on Goblin. Obviously it doesn't kill anything directly, but now the Tinkerer doesn't work, or like it still kills my Rack, but at least, yeah, that's what we were afraid of. Or we could play a Pox. Pox is not even that good though here. Smother, yes. Smother was the best draw. Okay, play the Rack. We let them attack. Oh, no, we don't. We have to smother before they can play their spells, because what if they have a ringleader? Okay. Please don't have another war chief. Or another thing with 2 toughness. Okay, they have an incinerator. They're just cycling the draw card. That's the best case scenario. What we need here is a little more time. They played a land, which is really good because they're playing in the box. They're not killing the rack, which makes sense. I think that's the right play for opponent. Funeral Charm, very, very good. So we'll play Pox. We'll keep the Funeral Charm. Discard the Pox. They have to sacrifice 2 of their lands. So if they were sitting on a 4-drop like Ringleader, they are far away from it. We go to 6. We're going to take 2 damage. Oh, no, we're not going to take 2 damage because they had to sacrifice something. They sacrificed a pile driver. I don't think that was right. I mean, I guess they want to kill the rack, but then it's going to kill their Tinkerer. And plus, with an Engineered Plague and play, they can probably fill up their hand pretty quickly. Okay, but no, they want to get rid of one of their few goblins with 3 toughness. Okay, so the last card in their hand is like almost certainly a ringleader. Therefore, I think it's okay to Funeral Charm. If it was a top deck mystery card, I probably would not Funeral Charm it, but this card's been sitting in their hand since day 1. Yep, and there's the ringleader. All right, they drew the land. We just need a rack or a curse scroll. Chef's kiss on those draw lineups. Yeah, a little bit lucky. Not gonna lie. I mean, you know, payback for game 1. But I knew about the ringleader, so that wasn't, you know, that was skill. All right, well, just waiting to draw. I mean, they have a lot of goblins with 2 toughness, so like it's not impossible for me to lose here. I'm at 6. There we go. I just want to close out the game before they can draw their, you know, siege gang commanders, ringleaders, war chiefs, and almost all of their goblins have 2 toughness. Come to think of it. So here, I was going to say they might have a siege gang commander, because it's a 2/2 body with a decent ability. Oh, they have a goon. That's right. I forgot about the goon. These decks do play that because of exactly this situation. Oh, but we are very good at this game. Goblin goon. I mean, we had the blood for it anyways, but might as well grab it with the therapy since we know they have it. All right. Opponent wastelands our factory. Makes sense. We draw Scourge. Perfect. Well, we have an Innocent Blood, so hopefully we don't need to use it. All right, opponent did find the Siege Gun Commander. Well, kind of annoying. Okay, another factory, good draw. We could activate factory in Innocent Blood. If we don't, then they can Siege Gang whichever one they want. But that's okay. But they have the Siege Gang, so if they draw other goblins with 2 toughness, then they can start chucking them at us. We are only at 6. I think this is the pivotal turn. If they have nothing here, then we are pretty guaranteed to win. Rack, pretty good draw. Oh, we know they have Goblin Lackey in their hand too. So I think it doesn't matter if we attack with factory. So I think we attack with factory, they block it, and Siege Gang the Scourge. I think that's their best play. That's why I almost didn't attack with the factory, but there's really no reason not to anyways. So we could flash back the therapy, but I think I'd rather have the attacker anyways. Opponent's complaining about the top deck nature of sideboard cards like Engineer Plague. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, it is what it is, but there's, you know, there's some interesting deck building decisions with like the Goblin Goon type stuff, and yeah, I don't know. Well, we got that one, so 4-1, pretty decent. I'm happy with the sideboard choices. We did play against Dreadnought, and we did lose the Dreadnought, but honestly, that matchup is almost unbeatable, I think. And I think it doesn't matter how many powder kegs you play in your sideboard. It's, you know, they go through their entire deck and they have so much card advantage. And Gush is like the worst card ever. If it was just Dreadnought, it would be fine. but it's never just Dreadnought. It's always Dreadnought backed up with 1,000 counter spells. So I'm happy, and we got some good matchups with the Plague Spitters, the blue-white control, and Goblins. I'm very happy to have it, so I think I will stick with this. Yeah, this is my deck list for any big tournament like Duress Fest. And thanks for watching. Come back next week. I'll keep playing it.